So last week I answered a question posed by Chael Sonnen, and as I'm sure many of you recall, that question was, do you even care if an MMA fighter is a good guy? And my answer to that was yes. And I even talked about there were some fighters that I just couldn't bring myself to be a fan of, because I do care about whether or not a fighter is a good guy. And of course, the biggest name on that list, arguably, was Jon Jones. And unfortunately, there has been another development with Jon Jones this week. He posted a tweet earlier this week and basically just said that, just to paraphrase it, said that his fiancee had left him 2 months ago, and that this week she made it clear to him that she was never coming back. And he said that if you're a hater, then you can celebrate with a toast. And I gotta say, I know I've said this before, but Jon Jones, he just doesn't get it. He just doesn't get any of it. And I don't even think that he really understands what it is that his critics, or his haters, as he would like to describe us, he doesn't even really understand what it is that his critics wanted out of this. Speaking as a critic of Jon Jones and his behavior, I don't think that any of us ever really wanted his fiancée to leave him. What we wanted was for him to not be beating his fiancée in the first fucking place. I don't think that we've ever really asked that much of Jon Jones. We've definitely asked that much, and I don't think that it was a big ask. And this is what Jon Jones doesn't seem to get, in my opinion. And that is that, he does have some fans. Sure enough, I think that these are people that have figured out ways to convince themselves to turn a blind eye, to all of the things that he does. And that's a shame. But for those of us who won't turn a blind eye to him, to those things that he does, deep down, if we're fight fans, we probably do wish that we could be fans of Jon Jones. Because there is no denying this in terms of, pure fighting ability. Jon Jones is definitely one of the best guys to ever step into the octagon. That's undeniable. We don't have to like it, but we have to respect it. But because we do respect that much, I honestly think that even his most ardent critics would like to be fans of Jon Jones. And I can actually say that of myself. It's like, I honestly do wish that I could be a fan of Jon Jones. But for that to ever happen, he would have to change his behavior and stop doing all this horrible stuff that he's been doing. So if his fiancée leaves him, I'm not going to celebrate that. I'm not happy that his fiancée left him. I'm sad for him and his fiancée that this is the way that things have been and this is the way that things are. I wish that Jon Jones would change so that it could be even possible for me to be a fan of Jon Jones. And for the life of me, I can't imagine why he wouldn't want to do that himself. Look at the things that have happened. Look at what it's done to his career. Look at what this has done to his life. He cannot be happy with this. So why does he keep pretending that there is no problem and that all the other people that are criticizing him are just haters that are out to get him? He could have such a better life. He could have so many more fans. He could have so much more respect if he would just take that look in the mirror and just say to himself, hey, this was not okay. This has got to change. And I know that, I'm maybe speaking for myself at most, but I really do think that fight fans would be a lot happier, if we just could be fans of Jon Jones. But he's got to really change his ways for that to happen. And if losing his fiancée because of his domestic violence beef isn't enough for him to change that, if that's not rock bottom for him, it's frustrating to sit here and tell you that I I don't think that I understand what rock bottom would be for Jon Jones.